After paying $44,000 for my sister's wedding, she sent me to the wrong Italian city as a prank. I landed in Naples while they celebrated in Florence. Next day, she texted, LOL, I just didn't want to invite you. Mom added, stop faking confusion. It's your fault. I smiled. Then I sent her a gift, 4 feet tall, delivered by courier. Soon after, she called, crying, can I please pay you back? My name is Noah. I'm 32, the older sibling, the reliable one. I manage budgets for a mid-sized construction company, spreadsheets, vendor calls, chasing invoices that cleared yesterday. I pack my lunch. I iron shirts on Sundays. The fanciest thing I own is a coffee grinder I bought used. In my family, I'm the person who figures it out. If something breaks, if someone cries, if a bill arrives with red letters, everyone looks at me like I'm a fire extinguisher. My sister, Tessa, is 27. She has perfect hair and the attention span of a sparkler. She sells lifestyle online, morning routines, matcha, unboxings. She's funny when she isn't mean. She calls Dad Daddy, and he melts. Mom calls her baby, and my name turns into a job title. Noah will handle it. I can replace a faucet blindfolded. I can't remember the last time anyone asked me if I was tired. I bought them a wedding, not in one swipe, in chunks that felt reasonable in the moment. A deposit here, a will Venmo Friday there. 14 payments. $44,000 when you add it clean. I know the number because I typed it into a cell and pressed enter, and the totals didn't blink. The plan was Florence. Garden ceremony. Strings. Candlelight. I told myself it was love. I told myself it was my gift. I told myself I was choosing this. We were at my parents' table the week before we all were supposed to fly. Mom had her binder. Tabs for florals, music, travel. Tessa had a gel pen and a smile that meant someone else would pay. Dad was in his chair at the head, the position he uses like a trophy. The room smelled like lemon cleaner and coffee. Okay, Mom said, tapping the travel tab. Italians are loose, so we must be precise. Print your boarding passes. No checking bags. Noah, your flight is in the email. You booked mine. I asked. Handled, she said, like that word settled everything. Tessa blew on her nails. Florence is chaos. We might route people through Naples and bus. It's prettier for vlogs. Naples is 5 hours from Florence, I said. She did the flinch laugh she does when someone ruins fun with facts. Relax, professor. Dad forked a grape and pointed it at me. Don't start with the negativity. You always think small. I looked at the email on my phone. Subject, Italy. Attachment, PDF boarding pass. Airport code, NAP. I opened my mouth. Tessa touched my arm and lowered her lashes like a curtain. It's a surprise route, she said. Trust me. That was the first nick. Not the money. Not yet. Just the way my name gets moved around like furniture. The way information turns slippery when I hold it. I told myself to breathe. I told myself not to ruin the vibe. I closed the email. Tessa popped a grape into her mouth and winked. You're going to love it, she said. I believed her because wanting to belong is a kind of gravity. I rinsed my cup. Mom kissed my cheek like a stamp on a document. Dad said, don't be difficult. We did the choreography we always do. I didn't know then that I would land in Naples while they lit candles in Florence. I didn't know then about the text that would come the next morning. I didn't know then what a 4-foot package can do to a family. I just knew I was the useful one. And useful people say yes. It didn't start with Italy. It started with birthdays and divvying up slices of cake. When I turned 10, I got a used Game Boy and a lecture about screens. When Tessa turned 10, she got a trampoline and an Instagram post from Mom that said, she deserves the world. When I brought home a report card, Dad said, solid. When Tessa brought home a participation ribbon, Dad said, star. Money had a script. If Tessa needed it, we found it. If I needed it, we learned a lesson. You can do hard things, Dad would say. Be a man. When the dishwasher died, I learned to fix a pump. When Tessa's phone cracked, we learned about same-day replacements. At 18, I worked nights at a warehouse and saved cash in envelopes with ink labels. Rent, groceries, car. The envelopes lived in an old shoebox taped shut with blue painter's tape. Once, when Tessa was between gigs, the tape was cut. Emergency, Mom said, touching my elbow like a nurse. We'll make it right. They made some of it right when things calmed down. Things never calmed down. By 24, my phone plan was a family plan with my card attached just for setup. The plan became a Vine. Lines got added like cousins. At one point, my bill listed 5 names and 1 credit card mine. I'd say, we need to switch back. And Mom would say, now isn't the time. If I pushed, Dad used the tone that dimmed my insides. Don't nickel and dime your sister. Tessa tried everything with confidence. A lash studio, a jewelry drop, a candle brand with rose-scented wax that ruined my kitchen for a month. Invest in me, she'd say. It's family. Loans became gifts. Gifts became expectations. I told myself I was lucky to be able to help. The Ledger app on my phone had numbers that looked like compassion and felt like exhaustion. When she got engaged to Leo, kind, shy, shoulders like a hanger, our house turned into a production set. Mom had a Pinterest board for each hour of the day. Dad had opinions about chairs. Tessa had a camera. The plan began small. Backyard, lights, tacos. Then the algorithm found her. Destination, she said, eyes shining. Tuscany. Vines. Bells. I could have said no right then. I didn't. I said, I'll cover the photographer. Then the band needed a deposit. Then the venue only holds dates with a wire. Then hair and makeup wanted travel fees early. We'll Venmo Friday, Mom said. I put a number in a cell, $3,000. Then $6,200. Then $18,000. I told myself I was holding the family together like epoxy. Numbers as memory. Venue deposit, Villa send something $18,000. Catering deposit, $9,500. Band deposit, $6,200. Photographer deposit, $2,900. Florist prepay, Mom hates cheap flowers for $1,100. Dress tailoring because emergency beating, $1,800. Hair/makeup travel fee, $620. Chair rental upgrade, the white ones squeak on video, $900. I told myself, this is the gift. I told myself, this will be a story we laugh about. I told myself, I'm being generous, not stupid. There were quiet humiliations under the noise. Tessa would tag all her friends in thank you posts and mention me like a line item. And my brother for logistics. At dinner, Aunt Paula would say, Tessa's our dreamer. Noah's our spreadsheet. Mom told Leo's parents, we're covering the important stuff. I smiled so hard my jaw clicked. I tried to set a boundary. I'll stop at $44,000. I told Mom, like saying it made it real. After that, it's on you. She put her hand on my cheek. Honey, don't be crass. There were moments that should have woken me up. The day I found my passport moved a half-inch in the drawer. The night the iPad I used for the phone plan was on a different screen than I left it. The post-it near Mom's coffee cup with a code on it, and then a tear through the numbers. The way Tessa sent me Florence Hotel link, but the page wouldn't load unless you had the exact URL. I told myself I was paranoid. I told myself love looked like trust. The week before we flew, Mom insisted on handling flights because group booking saves money. I said I'd book my own, pay my own, keep it clean. She clucked. Don't be difficult, Noah. Tessa texted me a PDF boarding pass for Naples. Cheaper, she wrote. We'll bus. It's a vibe. I said, I'll just go straight to Florence. She wrote back, don't be weird. You'll mess the shuttle. I stared at the 3 letters. NAP. I Googled buses. I saw 5 hours 30 minutes and a transfer. I typed, is the wedding even near Naples? And deleted it. I told myself, stop ruining things. I downloaded the pass. The morning I left, Dad hugged me with one arm and said, don't be late like last time. Mom handed me a Ziploc with snacks. Tessa pecked the air near my cheek and said, see you soon. Like a joke, I wasn't in on. I rolled my carry-on to the Uber. The driver asked if I was excited. I said, so excited, and my voice did a thing I didn't recognize. Some part of me knew. Some part of me still wanted to be invited. The flight attendant said buongiorno, and I cried quietly to a plastic cup of soda. When the wheels hit Naples, I checked my phone for the shuttle information. The chat had 17 new photos. Candles. Vines. Tessa in a silk robe with her friends. No shuttle. No tag for me. Where's the bus from Naples? I texted. No reply. I stood near baggage claim and watched the carousel cough out suitcases. A child with a balloon laughed. A couple argued in English very softly. My stomach felt like I'd swallowed sand. 30 minutes later, a DM from Tessa with a heart emoji and a single word, soon. I found the bus kiosk. I bought a ticket. I told myself, it's a miscommunication. 5 hours and 1 snack of crackers later, I knew it wasn't. Naples Station at 10 p.m. smells like oil and sugar. People move like crosswalk lights, fast and in bursts. I stood with my carry-on and my suit bag and watched a man push a cart of empty water bottles like he was late to an appointment that didn't exist. I texted Mom, I'm in Naples. Shuttle. No answer. I called Dad. Straight to voicemail. I messaged Tessa again. What's the address for the villa? 3 dots. Then nothing. I tried Leo. He wrote back. Hey man. Asked Tessa. Translation, stay out of it. I bought an espresso from a window where the woman looked at me like I was a sigh. I sat on my bag and made a list on my notes app to keep my brain from spiraling. Bus to Florence. 5H? Train? Closed? It's late. Hotel near station. Euro? Am I an idiot? The next morning, my phone buzzed at 7:02 a.m. A message from Tessa, 2 photos, then text. Photo 1. Tessa and her bridesmaids in satin pajamas, holding flutes. Caption. We made it. Photo 2. The garden. Arches, candles, a sign in cursive that said, Welcome to forever. Then the text. LOL, I just didn't want to invite you. I read it 3 times. It was like someone had set the kitchen timer and walked out of the house. Silence and a ticking you can't unhear. Before I could type, another one. Mom, stop faking confusion. It's your fault. You make everything heavy. Don't come. You'll ruin it. I stared at the words. Heavy. Ruin. Don't come. I took a breath. Then another. The man with the water bottles was back. A child pointed at a pigeon. A woman dragged a suitcase with a broken wheel. The world did not care about my texts. It kept on. I smiled. Not the happy kind. The kind that happens when the floor stops pretending to be a trampoline and turns into concrete. There was relief inside the pain. Clarity feels clean, even when it hurts. I wrote back to Tessa. Thanks for the clarity. Have a good day. She responded with a champagne bottle emoji. I closed my messages. I opened my bank app. Habit. Comfort. Numbers that didn't judge. Balance. Normal. Charges. Normal. Transfer out. None. I felt the ground under me. I booked a small hotel in Naples with a clean bedspread and a timeout from being useful. At noon, a picture in the family chat. Tessa, veil looking like fog. Mom wrote, Our angel. Dad wrote, My girl. I put my phone face down and looked at the cracks in the ceiling. I ordered a sandwich in the hotel lobby and used please in bad Italian. The man said prego, signore, and I could have cried from the politeness. At 5 p.m., I took a train to Rome, then a cheap flight home the next morning. No theatrics, no speeches, just 2 seats, 3 plastic cups, and the knowledge that I had finally seen the wall I'd been leaning against. When I landed, I took a shower that felt like being rinsed of something that never belonged to me. I made coffee. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I opened a new email account, Noah.boundaries at. I opened a blank document and titled it 90 Days. Then I called a courier company. Do you do specialty deliveries? I asked. Size, the voice said. 4 feet tall, I said. Foam board. And an envelope. Address. I gave Tessa's. I added one more call, a mobile notary. I printed a simple document. Acknowledgement of debt and repayment plan. Amount, $44,000. Terms, 18 months, 0 interest if on time, 8% APR if late, automatic payments via the link. Evidence attached, itemized receipts and a screenshot of Tessa's LOL text enlarged to a page. I wasn't going to post it. I wasn't going to shout. I was going to do paperwork. I taped the envelope to the back of a 4-foot foam board I had printed at the copy shop that night. Title across the top in clean black letters. Wedding gift. What I paid for so you didn't invite me. Under it, a neat list with amounts. Down the right side, a giant QR code to a secure payment portal with her name already filled in. At the bottom, a line. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure. I slept for 6 hours. I woke at 6:30 a.m. The courier was on time. The courier wore a blue polo and had the energy of a person who has seen some things. He checked the name. Tessa. Make sure she signs for it, I said. The notary will meet you there. If she refuses, take a photo of refusal and hand the envelope to Leo. Got it, he said, practical like me. At 8:12 a.m., my phone, which was still on Do Not Disturb, lit up with a banner that showed the courier app. Delivered. Signed by Tessa. 30 seconds later, the calls began. 16 in a row. 3 from Mom. 8 from Dad. 5 from a number I didn't know. I let the phone vibrate on the table like a trapped bee. At 8:20, a new email. From Tessa. Subject. Are you insane? Body. Take this down right now. You're humiliating me. You're evil. I'm blocking you. I wrote back. Subject. Repayment. Body hi. For the next 90 days, email only. Payments begin on the 1st. If you sign the plan today, no interest. If not, interest begins next month. I will not post anything. I will not discuss this on the phone. Love, Noah. At 8:31, Mom. Subject. How dare you? Body, you sent a sign like an incredibly inappropriate. Your aunt saw it. Leo's parents saw it. You will destroy your sister. You're selfish. You're ungrateful. After all we do. I replied. Subject, boundaries. Body, I won't discuss this by phone or text. If you want help budgeting for the honeymoon, ask respectfully. Twice monthly dinners are available. Thursdays at 6. Email only. At 8:35, a different tone. Leo. Subject, I'm sorry. Body, I didn't know she sent you to Naples. I didn't know she told you not to come. I'm sorry. Please give me a day to talk to her. We'll pay you back. I wrote back. Thanks. The plan is in the envelope. If signed today, we're good. At 8:40, Dad's turn. Subject, take it back. Body, what you did is unforgivable. You made your sister cry on her wedding week. Take it back. I replied, I'm not taking anything back. I am taking responsibility for where my money goes going forward. If you need help with your credit card interest, I'll sit with you. Email only. At 9:02, a call slipped through from an unknown number. I let it ring out. A voicemail came up. Tessa, sobbing. I didn't think you'd actually. Breath. Why would you? Breath. My in-laws saw it, okay? Can I please pay you back? I'll sign. Just please don't send anything else. I listened sitting at my table with my hands around a warm mug because you can hold two truths. I love my sister. And also enough. I emailed her the DocuSign link. 1 minute later, I got a ping. Signed by Tessa. 5 minutes after that, a second ping. Co-signed by Leo. I made a rule with myself. No dancing in the end zone. No, I told you so. No posting. No revenge. Just paperwork. At noon, the bank app pinged. Payment January 18th, $2,444.44. The decimals made me laugh a little. They were so neat. Tessa sent an email subject line. First payment. No body. That was fine. Then came the second wave. Family group chat. Screenshots. Thermonuclear takes. Aunt Paula. Noah sent a billboard? Cousin. This is giving court. Mom. We raised a monster. Dad. He's dead to me until he apologizes. I muted the chat for 1 year. I printed a new document titled, What I Will No Longer Do. I will no longer pay the family phone plan. As of today, all lines except mine are disconnected. I will no longer pay deposits, to hold dates, or just to get us started. I will not be an authorized user on anyone's card. I will not respond to demands. I will respond to respectful requests in 48 hours by email. I will not attend conversations where I am called selfish for having a budget. What I am willing to do. Twice monthly dinners at a public place, 1 hour. Emergency rides or hospital visits. Help set up a budget if asked without insults. How to reach me. Email only for 90 days. I printed it and put it in a manila folder. I dropped it at my parents' door. No note. They know how to read. That afternoon, I went to my bank in person. Remove all shared access, I said. The banker asked for my passcode. I gave her the new one, a sentence, not a date. I put a freeze on my credit. I set up alerts for charges over $1. I bought a fireproof envelope and put my passport in it because my life needed a lock, not an apology. The next day, Leo asked to meet. We sat at a coffee shop. He looked like someone who realized his house had a basement he'd never visited. I didn't know, he said. I believe you, I said. She told me she invited you, he said, staring at his hands. She said you said you'd swing by. She texted me, I just didn't want to invite you, I said. I kept my voice flat. We both looked at the table like it had answers. We'll pay, he said. I want to start our marriage clean. Good, I said. You have the plan. I'm sorry, he said again, like that was the only word he had. Thank you, I said. I hope you both have the wedding you want, not the performance. He smiled for the first time. Me too, he said. People will ask where the 4 feet went. It's in their foyer, leaning against a wall, because it's too large to ignore and too heavy to throw away in front of Leo's parents. I didn't deliver it to embarrass. I delivered it to make denial physically inconvenient. Over the next week, the machine tried me. Mom sent long emails with Bible verses and cutlery comparisons. Dad sent 2-word lines. Call me. Fix this. Tessa sent 3 dots, and then nothing. I answered once a day with the same 5 sentences. I love you. Email only. I'm not funding this wedding. Payments are between you and the portal. I'm available Thursday 6 to 7 p.m. at Rose's. Boundaries are dull. That's their strength. They don't feel like victory. They feel like routine. On the 3rd Thursday, Mom and Dad came to Rose's and sat in the red booth with their mouths turned down in unison. We talked about the weather, which is how you know people are adjusting. Dad said he got a bill from the dentist. I said I could help him call, and set up a plan. He said okay. Mom said the florist gave them a small credit because of distress. I said that was kind. We ate pasta. No one said helicopter. Tessa didn't come. She emailed the next day, subject, payment to. The portal pinged. I forwarded a receipt with, thank you. She sent a single period back. Progress. I started breathing like the air was mine. I cleaned my apartment. I shredded envelopes that were 10 years old. I put $300 in a category labeled Italy for me. Not revenge. A counterweight. On day 19, my phone rang at 2 a.m. the way phones ring when old rules are calling. I didn't answer. In the morning, I listened to the voicemail. Mom, your grandmother fell, she said, voice shaking. Hospital. I called back in 10 seconds. When it's an emergency, I show up. That's not for negotiation. That's for me. I drove them. I sat in a hard plastic chair. I filled out a form because forms calm me. I stayed until Grandma stabilized. Dad squeezed my shoulder, a simple press. Thanks, he said. No lecture. No be a man. Just thanks. It stuck. The wedding happened a month later. Smaller. Pretty. No helicopter, obviously. They sent a photo, Tessa and Leo under a tree with tea lights. Tessa wasn't tagged. Mom didn't caption with "we did it." The picture looked like people, not a campaign. I looked at it and didn't feel angry. I felt like I had finally delegated my place in their story to its rightful size. Payment 3 came. Payment 4. I auto-transferred them into Italy for me. I booked myself a small trip for the winter. 3 days in Florence, 2 in Naples on purpose, because I believe in fixing names that got misused. I didn't send anyone my itinerary. 2 months later, Tessa asked to meet. We picked a cafe with plants and quiet music. She arrived in sunglasses like she was hiding from an old version of herself. She started without a script. I was cruel, she said. I thought it was funny. I thought. She looked at the table. I thought you'd still pay and show up to clean it. I did pay, I said. I didn't show up. She laughed once, sharp. Then she got serious. I'm ashamed, she said. You're paying it back, I said. That's how shame turns into an action. She nodded. Leo said we grow up now, she said. I didn't like that. Then I did. We sat in a silence that wasn't a fight. She picked at a napkin. Do you hate me? She asked. I love you, I said. I hate what you did. She took a breath. I'm going to finish paying early, she said. I'm selling the camera lights. I don't need lights for my life. Good, I said. She pushed her sunglasses up on her head. Mom says you're dramatic. I'm calm, I said. Calm looks dramatic to people who are used to you drowning with them. We both smiled. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small envelope. For you, she said. Inside, a receipt. Payment June 18th. It wasn't due for another week. She shrugged. I didn't want it in my head, she said. Also, she hesitated. I changed my phone line. It's on my card now. Proud of you, I said, and meant it. We walked out. We hugged. It didn't feel like performing for a camera. Here is the part where I tell you the moral, because I'm done writing the story like I'm asking permission. I won't be the family's emergency fund because someone thought a helicopter meant love. I won't attend events I'm not invited to, and I won't pay for them either. I won't argue with group chats. I will write simple emails and keep copies. I will pay for my life first. I will help for actual emergencies, not for content. I will meet twice a month and split the check. I will say no, like a full sentence, and not explain it to people who profit from confusion. This wasn't revenge. This was paperwork. This was a 4-foot reminder that respect has dimensions. Mom still sends me paragraphs, sometimes with words like honor and family in bold. I answer once. Dinner Thursday? Sometimes she comes. Sometimes she doesn't. Dad asks me about interest rates now. I show him a calculator. He nods like a student. The Italy fund hit the number I wanted. I booked Florence for February. I booked Naples too, on purpose. I'll eat a sandwich at the station and watch the pigeons and not wait for a shuttle that isn't coming. I'll send a photo to myself. And if I'm tempted to feel guilty when my coffee is hot and the numbers add up, I'll remember the phone board leaning in their hallway and the first payment that pinged without a fight. I'll remember that love without a boundary is a leak you don't see until the floor is rotten. My life is not a venue. My wallet is not a vote. My yes means yes. My no means no. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure. And 4 feet of it was exactly the size I needed to see it.